Let's go. And this is the Underground. World News Live. Back at you once again here on this 6/1/2026. Let's get the mic check in. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. As always, appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you, Tacos, Bullion, Kenny, everyone out there. Much love, Steve. What do we got up here? Skeeby for the super chat right at the gate. Steely, thank you as well for the super chat. Much love, Pure Bloods. Lowrider, gifting, all the memberships. Thank you so much, everyone that got them. Welcome to the Underground. Bone Score, checking in. Much love, everyone. His son Edmund turned 22 years old today. All praise to the Most High. Happy birthday. Much love. And we got a lot to cover on this one. Thank you for the feedback, everybody. If you're new, make sure to hit subscribe. Make sure to also hit the bell notification to make sure you're getting notified. And dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. If you got anything you want to get to me, thank you, someone, for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. Daz in the house, Pixie, Isaac's John Boy, much love. Thank you for that information. Clinton Lee, Bitcoin, E. Fitz, J. Hart, DV, Anna, Elena. Good to see everybody. Gabriel. Yeah, we got a lot to cover here tonight. As always, try to keep one eye on the chat. Much love to everybody on Facebook, Rumble. The bot should kick it out over here to the main chat. And hopefully I catch all of the comments here tonight. All right, everything looking solid. Open this thing up. Here with what Americans are said to be most worried about. I wanted to point this out and kind of start off with this so we could see all in all what people are thinking across the country. So open up this infographic. It shows us that compared to right when they went to lock this place down to right now, things have switched up. Now, health and Social Security were at the top. They've moved down to second. Immigration was second. It's moved to the bottom. Inflation and cost of living, it was third. It has now moved to the top spot, followed by health and Social Security, then housing. They said to be working on some kind of big thing they're going to do for housing here because we all know something's got to be done. People can't afford these homes. I was looking at different stories earlier, different numbers, what they were showing, houses that were bought for like $700,000 back in the 80s, selling easily for like 12 million plus. This was in a beach town, but they were just saying the numbers are crazy and that no one can afford any of that these days, especially with no opportunity. Inflation, cost of living, all that, and jobs getting wiped out. I suspect, this is just my guess here, but I suspect that the unemployment thing down here is going to rise from here on out because people don't even really realize what's going on here. I've often used the term, the boiling frogs, frogs boiling. They don't realize what's going on until it's too late. I really feel like that's what's going on here with society, with everything. Of course, people just keep on pushing. Every day, try to tell people have a plan. You either care to have a plan or you don't. You either feel that something, is coming our way or you don't. And millions of Americans are feeling it. They're giving up on not only getting new homes, but they're giving up on buying new cars. You can see here, it's showing that a growing number of Americans can no longer afford buying a new vehicle. Roughly 1 million potential buyers have exited the market since 2020. And they're unlikely to be returning. So this thing's not looking good on the real, all the way around. Trump's got this place wrecked. Not just him, it's the deep state. I mean, he's the man on the front. If he's willing to take all the credit for all the good stuff, but he can take the credit for the bad too. Mr. Ego. It's not just him. Obviously, he's got this whole cabinet. You got the whole deep state. You got the whole establishment that are really calling the shots in all these things. He's the front man. And he is the president. He sits in that seat. He is the president of this corporation of the United States of America. And it's being ran like a straight up mafia. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the economic stuff because that's where I start off with, as always. But anymore, the war stuff ties into it. I usually finish with the war stuff, but it ties into it heavily. And it does here with shortages, rationing, all this stuff in terms of oil reserves. Now, A lot of people, I think, have it in their mind that I don't know what they're thinking, to be honest, because we're past the point of just saying, oh, it's just going to be okay. If you're being realistic about the whole thing, you've got to see that we're in dangerous territory now. Because, for example, I've said this in a video, and I think it's important people realize that even if tonight or tomorrow morning, Donald Trump and all of them get a deal worked out and the markets react, woo woo, because they've been going back and forth, back and forth. Even if that happens, you've got to demine all of Hormuz. And that will take, they're saying, at bare minimum, weeks to months. So you're talking at least around a month to get it demined, because Trump was out there trying to say that we've been demining the place, but then the military experts were asked and they were like, no, we haven't even begun that process. So he's just lying. You're getting caught left and right. It's embarrassing. And Iran sees what's going on, and they're going to play this thing to their advantage. And what is to their advantage at this point? To actually string it out, because they know that everything's running thin and that our reserves are running thin. And now the tables are starting to turn. And Trump's got to either find a way out of this or like try to full on commit to some crazy war where most of that oil on Carg Island and all that's going to get set ablaze, at least in the short term. And, I looked at all the numbers. We are at, well, just look at the title. Oil reserves are falling at the fastest rate in history. In history. He's just ripping through them. Like, I used to complain about Biden because Biden, it wiped out our reserves. But then he started to fill them back up right before he got out of there. And then when Trump immediately got in, there was a boost. But then after that, I think it was they were getting ready for all this. It's now been depleted. And people think, oh, we got Venezuela oil. It's not that easy. We don't have a lot of it. And it has to be processed and all that. And it's not the best oil. This Hormuz thing is critical because it's more than just oil, man. It's everything else, the fertilizers, the everything, the everyday things that people need. This is going to add to the inflation. You see, Trump is creating this. Now, he said yesterday or whenever, he's like, oh, the beautiful blockade's done, or on Friday, he goes, go home to your families, tell them you love them, tell them I said hi, and all this crap. Well, like, what was that? Like, they're not done. Like, missiles are still flying, and like, ain't nobody going home. Like, he's a liar. Like, boldly, flat out, over and over again, belligerently. It's disgusting. All that Mac has got left in, all they can ever say is, you got TDS, or, like, you're done. This is all by design, no doubt. Well, all right, well, let's keep going because it's about to get interesting. I've got some interesting stuff here. Now, I'm going to play this on Florida. If you missed the last one, here's Ron DeSantis actually on Sunday morning futures. And more states need to do what they're doing here, which is doing away with property taxes. Big time. We'll play this clip.
Exclusive live is the 46th governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Governor, great to have you this morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, what a contrast looking at what you're doing in Florida and what they're doing in New York. Walk us through your housing plan and why this exemption lift is so important in terms of property values and taxes.
Well, Maria, at the state level, we're one of the lowest, if not lowest, tax states in the country. No income tax, generous exemption on our sales tax for core items. We've eliminated taxes like business rent and all that. And we're proud of that. And our spending has reflected it. I'm going to sign a budget later this month or next month that will represent 4 straight years of spending reductions in the state of Florida. And we're very proud of that. But at the local level, which is where the property tax revenue goes, we've gone from local governments taking $32 billion in 2019 in taxes to now $60 billion. That's almost 100% increase in revenue. And look, part of it is people have moved here.
In 7
Part
years.
of it is that property values have gone up, but homeowners need relief. And so it's my view that if you are a Florida resident and you have a homestead, we want that to be tax-free. And so that's our vision. That represents about 30% of the overall property tax revenue because they still tax investment property, commercial property. And so this ballot measure will do an opening salvo of raising it, the exemption to $250 adjusted for inflation so they can't play games. That will be 60% of Florida homesteaders tax-free. Then as they raise it, the legislature will be able to raise that and have a process to do that. Once you get to 500,000 limit, that's 92% of homeowners. And then on it goes from there. But if we don't give homeowners relief, Maria, by 2032, they're going to be taking in $83 billion. So that would mean $32 billion in 2019. 13 years later, it goes to $83 billion. That is not sustainable. And so this is really a historic opportunity to have more money in people's pockets and to actually have their home be their private property that the government just can't use as a piggy bank.
Let me tell you, right there. And see, he's going to be out of there January 3rd or whatever, 2027. I don't know what he's going to end up doing in this game of the presidential race, but one thing DeSantis is doing in this move is trying to make sure that the people that live there can actually own their property. This is a huge stipulation. It's a big problem in every single state. That you've got people that worked hard their whole life. They pay off the property. They did everything. They did everything they were supposed to do, right? But they're still cutting a check every year to the government. You know, and you know what that is? That's like it's getting fleeced. That's mafia. Again, that's what we live under. It's disgusting, right? And that has to be gone. You know, when you own something, you own it outright, and you don't have to worry about it. That way, if you're disabled or crippled and it's paid off, you ain't got to worry about them playing this game to where, we know that they're old and crippled right now. But we're going to go get it. No. Because you can't pay the tax, and they know this. And as it steadily rises over time, it's going to get people. That game is over once this is passed, in Florida at least. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. So, no state's perfect, I would say, but look, man, you got a couple buddies, a family member, or somebody lives in Florida, and you live somewhere else, and and you both paid your place off, and then you're sitting there talking about it. You know, what you want to do is you want to bring this up in your town hall meeting. Not everybody's going to be able to move to Florida, you know, but other places can adopt something like this. You can say, hey, look what Florida just did. Why can't we do something like that? Why not? Somebody's got to do something or nothing happens. It's got to be brought up in these meetings. Someone's got to attend them, town hall meetings, whatever it takes to get things done. If nothing's happening in your neck of the woods. Man. All right. So, hopefully you guys see something like this in your neck of the woods in the near term, but I can't stress how big that is when you actually start saving all your money and you buy a piece of property, you buy a house, you pay something off. And you're like, we did it. And then the government's like, like, that's It's a messed up game. It's like a trap. Um, man. So one thing that he did not say there that I throw in the fine print there, he did say it has to be a homestead. Obviously, if it's going to be a business, it's going to be taxed a different way. But if you live there, you got to be there at least 5 years. So now, what do you want to own right now? Hard assets, land. I would say land is a big thing if you can get your hand on chunks of land out there that's got natural resources, mineral rights. It's going to be worth something. It's going to continue to rise. Can't you see? Everything's about energy. So if you've got resources that equate to energy, it's going to continue to gain in value. Do you see that? Okay, so property, little chunks, maybe 10 acres, 20 acres out there in the middle of nowhere, a little Appalachia for cheap, this and that. Well, if it's got water line on it, it's got natural gas, it's full of timber, why not? Decent price, and if that's what you're looking for, investment, to park your money somewhere to grow it, it's going to be places like that. And like they're passing laws now to where they're making sure that BlackRock in these other places can't come and start buying up all these properties en masse, especially homes, single family homes. They can't be doing that. They're putting a stop to all that, but they're still out here buying big chunks of off grid land, so to speak. But what you want is a hard asset because what's this say? What do you want to own before a bond market crisis? Well, gold is top of the list. So let's talk about that. Gold's kind of pulled back right now. It's in a decent range. I would out these markets are so volatile. Um, normally when there's peace, there's a pullback. And we saw that just the other day. But then, when 2 days later the bombs are flying again, that pullback kind of gets erased. So silver and gold have been sitting in this little area. Let's just go over and look. Let's see what prices we've got today over on AppMax 75.83. This is decent price range on silver. Look, we were up at 120. Okay, we spiked up and hit 120, and people were geeking out. And the plan has been, get as much as you can before it hits 100. 100 ounces by 100 was a plan. And there's windows of opportunity. I'm hoping it pulls back more. Now, normally in a peace type of atmosphere, you'll see things pull back. When they say bombs are flying and it's big war, you'll see gold run and silver, platinum, and all that follows it. But here recently, we saw something kind of different. We saw when the bombs are dropping, one of these last times, it was pulling back. And that was because some big dogs were selling, which doesn't usually happen. But you had Turkey selling in massive amounts. Why? Because Turkey's on the hit list. If you don't know, Turkey is on the list to get taken out by Israel and the U.S. Okay? They are behind Iran. They've kind of hit there, and they stayed off the main list, it seems, this whole time because they were an ally. But not anymore. Not the way that Israel sees it. And they're just insane. They want greater Israel, and we're going to jump into that here in a minute. You're going to be, some of these things are crazy. It's all coming to fruition. It's all happening. Like, we're in crazy times. Before I get to that, I want to show you here with crypto just how easy it is for the government to grab it from you. You've got Bassett saying we outright grabbed the wallets of Iran. We just took them. 1 billion in state just took it, just straight up seized it. And see, that's what the person that made it can always do. Did you wonder why and how they could even do that? They have the mass of it. Bitcoin itself is built on a hash. Hash was created by the NSA. These are facts. The hash that Bitcoin is built on, the foundation, was created by the NSA. These are facts. Okay? And Satoshi is a real character running around out there. And we had confirmation of this from none other than the Epstein files, where Epstein himself said, and she was having him over, had Satoshi with Bitcoin there. And that's where the whole talk of it being connected to Mossad operation and all that runs deep. And it's true. So, I mean, you see the influence Bibi has over Trump. So it's like their alphabet gangs have that big brother kind of bully influence over ours because Trump lets it be that way. Or apparently our government lets it be that way. It's insane. No one's stopping the Mossad at this point. But let's jump to the next one real quick. Do you smoke cigarettes? I know you're smoking one right now. I know I wasn't meant for you. I'm talking about the cat that was smoking it. That is smoking it. This is crazy. U.S. adult cigarette smoking rate hits an all-time low. That's great. In the mid-60s, 42% of U.S. adults were smokers. That's crazy. That's a crazy high number. Man, in 2024, the percentage of current adult smokers fell below 10% for the first time. And last year, it was 9%. So, that's good. It's good. I mean, don't start vaping. Please don't. Please don't. Just stick with the smoking, I'll tell you. Or just don't do none of it. Like there's vices out there, and then there's things you need to overcome in this life, in my opinion. I feel like this is a perfect example. But there's a lot of things. Some people can give up. Some people have never smoked, so it's not even an issue. But there's people out there that smoke, and like loved ones that I have around me, I've always tried to get to smoke. My dad coming up and saying, even when I was still smoking, I was like, you need to quit smoking. I was like, get a pack of cigarettes, try to hide them, crush them, do all this crap before you get sober. But my dad was sit there. If you were a kid, like he would try to teach us, like when he was a kid, he's like, when I was a kid and they bust us, he's like, they must do this and take the cigarette while it was lit and throw it in his mouth and start chewing it up. And like, what the? Like, what the? Like, and that was this little example of what they did to try to get them to stop smoking. And I was like, damn, I'll pass on all that. But I'm not the one. I quit smoking. Like, I quit smoking like almost a decade ago. It's crazy. Time flies, guys. Cigarettes just, I don't know, man. You live and you learn. And there was a point in my life where I started having a few things happen with me. Health-wise, I couldn't get no answers. And it was just the first place I had to. It was like, do you want to live? Like, this honest question, do you want to live? Do you want to, all these things? Like, just quit it. And just gone. And I got in a mode of giving up all these things because it became a challenge. a good challenge, because I give up cigarettes, I give up energy drinks, gave up damn Mountain Dews, all those things, like all that, way back then. So those some of those things before even the cigarettes, and pork, gave up, just all these different things. Just eating. People are gonna be like, "Well, why pork? Why pork?" Well, because it's a low energy animal, and just simply because Deuteronomy straight up tells you you shouldn't eat it. If anything that wallers in its low level, anything, and Jesus showed you in it by example that he that it's susceptible to the jinn, to the spirit, to evil spirit. Jesus took the evil spirit and cast it into the swine, and the swine ran into the water, killed themselves. Um, he shows you right there. It's the same example. You don't want to be consuming anything that has evil energy in it and tainted energy. You need to be conscious of that. You need to be conscious of that. You don't know what you're getting in these fast food places. I can't even stand the thought of it. Fast food meat out there. Like, what is it really? Like, what is it really? Mystery meats all over the place, but keep it pushing here. Jump into some heavier stuff here. We got a beloved business student, 23, shot and killed in a random attack in a Midwest city. And this took place in Indiana. Why did I think it was somewhere else? But yeah, Brett Scrocum, 23, RIP, was on his way to a game there for the Indianapolis Indians game at Victory Field, and they found him suffering from a random gunshot wound. They're saying the violence and the random stuff is just ridiculous. It's out of hand. By the time they got him to the hospital, he was dead for no reason. Just RIP. Fly high, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's going to stop. Dark place, man. John B, man. Thank you for the coffees and the support of the channel. Appreciate it to the fullest. This next one is about a brave grandmother who was 45, beat cancer, only to be killed in the parking lot of her local store by a rampaging gunman. This was in Missouri. Amy Kuhn, RIP. She was shot after Alan Price, 27, allegedly opened fire with a rifle in a grocery store parking lot. This took place on Memorial Day. At Constantino's Price Chopper, when shots erupted in the afternoon. So, here's a look at Amy. Again, RIP, fly high. You just never know these days. Time flies and life is short. This is one I'll put down as my bit of comedy for the night. Just because this guy, they dine and dash, this couple, they're caught, and they show some clips, but like this guy, when they hit the parking lot, I just thought it was funny. Like, this guy just goes smoking and cooking out of there, and like this lady's struggling. She's a bigger woman. She's in the background. She's just like, you could tell, just like one more frame, like he's out of there, and she's still not even halfway through the parking lot. They're looking for them, but what I don't understand is, like, they're criminals. If you're looking for them, and the criminals, why do you got their faces blurred out? I understand if they're innocent people in the snap, but they're criminals. So like, and if you need help, people have no idea what they look like. They have their bodies, but not their faces. Like, made no sense to me. So
there. He's gone. So this was halfway house restaurant in Essex. They actually asked to be moved to a table closer to the back door. And they racked up a $231 bill. They had about 14 baby Guinnesses along with dinner, and then tried to take off drunk through the parking lot, and they got away. It reminds me of when I got my credit card scammed years ago, and information stolen. Cats did the same thing. They were down like Texas, somewhere, and they were at a bar or grill somewhere, and they were sitting there ordering up all kinds of drinks. And I'm sitting there, I'm getting these alerts coming through. I'm like, what? I called up the my credit card place. I'm like, yo, this is someone stolen my stuff. And like this, they quickly called the place and like got onto the people. They tried to run up out of there and all this other stuff, but I'll never forget it, man. It's the same type of situation. But yeah, they knew that it was a scam there live when I called them. It's crazy. This next one is a bit crazy. We have people coming out of the sewers. This is a bizarre thing. This took place on McDonald Avenue between Kings Highway and Avenue South near Kosher Corner Supermarket. Now, that's odd. It says Kosher Corner Supermarket. The last people I've seen coming up out of that we saw coming up out of the underground there was the Jews. Up, I think it was NYC. There's footage of it. There's images and all that. I don't know. The underground layer. They got caught doing the same thing. So, same thing. People are like, hold on, what is really going on? Like, I'll play this clip. You can see this guy over here. You can see there's one pops out right there. I'm trying to zoom this in. There's another. They all come popping out right there. Boom, another. And the car comes flying down the street after the last one, like right here. Boom, it has to slam on its brakes. They put the manhole on. They take off. Boom. Car keeps going. And they're all sitting over here. They're all sitting over here on the side next to these cars. And they're taking off all their clothes. They're changing all their gear. They're all switching up, changing up all their gear and all the stuff. Maybe because it just came out of the sewer, but like, what were they doing down there? What are they doing? All these guys doing in the sewer. So they opened up an investigation on this. If you guys see anything like this, it's worth like looking into, because like you shouldn't be doing this. Like, most of the time this has to do with human trafficking rings, satanic dark stuff, drug operations, for the most part. Some bad things. And especially when this is connected to other places. You wonder why they're coming out sometimes in these locations. Well, look at the building right there behind it, for instance. These tunnels run all over the place. These tunnels run right up underneath and into a building somewhere, one of these places, and into it. Can almost guarantee it. And who knows what's going on large scale here, man, but who knows, man? There could be a whole underground layer. So someone really needs to investigate that spot. We have another wreck, unfortunately, here, a tragedy where an entire family has been killed after a bus A bus driver drove into the back of a stopped car. The driver, Jing Dong, of Staten Island, New York, is a Chinese-born naturalized citizen who doesn't read or speak a lick of English. And you got more people killed. This keeps happening, man. It's got to stop. The people that allowed this guy to drive in the first place should all be charged. And it needs to be like examples. Show the whole nation. You just hung these people out to dry because they deserve it. Because all these people are dead. Because they allowed this to happen. You follow the rules. The rules are there for a reason. Especially when it comes down to stuff like this that just keeps happening. These people are stupid, ignorant, whatever it is. Like, you know, you show some degree of intelligence just by being able to speak English, overnight. You have to, anyway. In my opinion, you're going to come here. You have to, by default. If I was going to go to, anywhere else, Mexico, I would want to go there and speak Spanish, anything like that. I don't know. It's messed up. All right, this is a pretty interesting one. Start to get into some. Let's dive into some interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and get on into some things. This one, Mystery of the Bible's Garden of Eden, and a river in it finally solved. Some are going to say, well, we knew that the Euphrates was named in Genesis. It's one of 4 waterways. It says flowing from the Garden of Eden, right? It's what it says here. The paradise where Adam and Eve were said to have lived. Now, despite its central role in biblical tradition and the rise of ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia, scientists have long been unable to determine exactly how the river first formed. Where now they're saying with LiDAR, satellite, seeing all the ancient riverbeds, they believe they understand how it all formed. There was 2 enormous rivers known as the Karasu. It's basically the Karasu. Paleo is for the age. In the Paleo Marat. So it's the Karasu and the Marat. They once flowed separately along what is now Turkey and Syria before some kind of powerful geological force or event. Could have been a flood. Anything like that altered their courses. And they say by around 1.6 million years ago, the waterways had merged and begun flowing toward the Persian Gulf, creating the modern Euphrates. So there's the talked about in the Bible, but it comes to the Garden of Eden. This image here, just remember this image for the rest of the show. I may have to even keep this up on the back end because there's so many things that I'm going to say. The way that things work with me, the Most High, synchronicities, all these things, the knowledge I come across, all the stories, the ancient stories. Like I've been deep, heavy here recently, like hard. Like I'm always on the Bible stuff, like different passages here recently. Just I've got like a routine of different things that I always go through. And Sumeria has been top of the list here in studying the Sumerian tablets. A bunch of them, because there's different ones, and there's some that have been just recently translated and talked about. Some of them are damaged, but the translations are wild. They're mind-blowing. And it adds to the story that we already know about what was going on with Enki and Enlil, which is fascinating to me. It's the ancient history of this area. And you're talking about a high civilization. the Anunnaki were called the Shining Ones that came down, basically gave off the reflection of gold off of their emanation. All that started to deteriorate, though, and started to fall apart and die, and they bounced. I said that on the past couple shows, but I've got even more information that ties in to this. What you're looking at is Tigris, Euphrates, and the Gihon, the Chiron, and the old Physhan that runs right here. These four feed into one area that they say, and only one, that it possibly be, if you're going exactly off how it's described. Where all these places converge. It's right here. It's where they can all meet and converge. And it just so happens it's right here in the Persian Gulf. You know, where the Straits of Hormuz is. I'm going to tell you, there's something ancient in this waterway, super ancient on the bottom. Somebody said this was said, it had nothing to do with the Garden of Eden. Something was said about a base, ancient base, something being on the floor of the Persian Gulf waterway. And they know this. And I'm going to share with you CIA stuff tonight, talking about 4 different areas where bases are tonight. This is getting, this is wild here. Because they're here. We know they're here. They're here. They've been here the entire time. It's no longer, they're getting ready to come out and tell the world some stuff, disclosure, deception, but like they've always been here, and like the history tells it. Now, look at this little area. They've got this Garden of Eden area. One thing I wish I had overlaid here was a map. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right here where the Physhan is, and where this on the western side where it's saying Garden of Eden. This is modern day Kuwait, where the whole thing comes up through here and splits and heads right on up in here. This is Iraq. Basra's like right down around here, and then all this to the right of the waterway over here, this little section, and then all this water, the Gihon going up into Cameroon. This is all Iran. This is all Iran. So this is what the West has never got their hands on. They've never got to get up in here in all these places in Iran. So this Garden of Eden area, okay, just so to speak, tentatively, it encompasses this wild strategic region right here. And notice how it goes way out into the waterways. What they're telling us is they believe a majority of it is underwater. It's on the ocean floor, so to speak, the sea floor. It's because, look, you see this dotted line? You can see back where the water used to sit and where they're saying the coastline used to be. Okay? Because it used to be way lower. All these coastlines, just like Florida. Florida used to be twice the size, thickness, east to west, than it is now. And if you look at a Google satellite image of it, you'll even see the light blue shelf that extends way out before it goes down to the deep and gets dark. That shelf was all part of the mainland in Florida. It's crazy. Same here. And you've got all kinds of cities, Dorka and other places that are full-blown cities that are underwater. That shows you that the water has risen dramatically since some point. Okay? Because they're all underwater, dang it. I just think that's crazy. Now, keep in mind, the Garden of Eden, this whole thing, and I want to point out something right now because it's on the map. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I seen it because, like, there's really no need for them to even have mentioned the place unless it's that important. And I'm going to tell you it is. It's a place you've probably never heard of. It's tonight you're going to hear the importance of this one little place. Okay. And I'm going to couple it with 3 other places that you have heard of that are all ancient and very important. And it's time you get to know what's going on here. Okay. Uruk, Ubaid, You may have heard of It's probably the more popular one there of all these towns and cities. But Eridu. This is the place that is super special. It's super special. I was blown away when I zoomed in, and I'm gonna have to do a whole nother piece on this. And I'm just gonna have to open it up. Eridu. I'm gonna have to open up maps. I'm just gonna have to go in and show you because it's mind blow. And then once you hear the story, what I'm about to tell you, the ancient story and everything that's going down with all these places, you're gonna be like, what? All right, here we go. This is Eridu. Right here. Zoomed in. Eridu, Iraq. Now I'm gonna zoom out. And what you see is nothing new. This isn't any of the structure that you're seeing. It's nothing new. It's ancient. Okay? Look at this. This literally looks like a 3D pyramid drawn on the ground. It is nuts. And it even has an eye formation at the top of the capstone area up here. It sure does. Has a circular eye shape, perfect in it. It has a line that runs from the top, cut straight down. It would come straight down and match right to this peak. It is wild looking. And I zoomed in and looked at everything, and it's just like old, ancient. There's no new buildings, no new roads. Like this was something that was done a long time ago, and has been left there out in the desert of Iraq. And when you zoom into this main circle here, right here, it gets even crazier. You can see that right here was a main fortification. They want this. Like our government's already been here. This is Iraq. So they've been here and they've been all through this. But you could see the ancient footprint of structure. Like, see these lines? There's perfect lines out here in symmetry. There's structure, squares, hexagons, all this stuff. Like down here, you can see these big bows. I'm used to being able to make out these things, these sites, and I've spent a lot of time looking at this. So, this is a super ancient site, and this has every single thing to do with the fall and the Anunnaki in the end and everything. And you look at that freaking thing out in the middle of nowhere. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just going back on out. Eridu, Iraq. Right there. Yeah. So right down here, Al Fall, of course, right over here, east of Kuwait City. This is the whole Garden of Eden they're talking about that goes out into the water. And Abaddon. Wow, what a name. Right there. Okay, see Basra right there. Most people have never heard of the city, Eridu, Iraq. I want you to please remember its location here. See where it's at. In location on this, because what I'm about to tell you, with the rest of the goes with this, just sets it all off. But just like I said, when I went zooming in looking, and I'm like, hold on, you're telling me this spot is surrounded by some kind of crazy 3D looking geoglyph of like a pyramid? Like it's absolutely crazy sight in its own right. So this was an ancient town. Okay, there it is. Eridu, as you can see there, and I'm going to keep it pushing here. I'm going to circle back to this. In a couple tabs from now. Okay, because I've got stuff that looks into this all together right here. First off, since it's all
got space involved in here. We had a meteor explode, like 300 tons of TNT. This happened on Saturday. People all across the Northeast said that they heard this. 9 U.S. states, 2 Canadian provinces. Broad daylight, 2 p.m. Eastern fireball. There's all kinds of different video clips. People saying they saw it, heard it, felt it. So the fireballs are coming in and they're being felt. And hey, there's also a show going down if the evening sky is clear. You got Venus and Jupiter that are getting closer and closer together here all the way up toward the 8th and 9th of June. And they're going to be really close and tight together. And this makes for this crazy looking illusion in the sky. So a heads up on that. Let's talk about Avi Loeb for a second, the Harvard professor that was connected to 3i Atlas Heavy. And then, we found out, obviously, he was connected to the Mossad, Israel, and all their backing, although he was putting out some truths. And the thing with their shills is like, they'll put out half truths. They'll put out a bunch of truthful information, but then they'll deflect. Only thing that I thought was interesting about Avi the whole time was that he was at least lending the idea that there is something artificial going on with 3i, which we all knew was happening. And it wasn't artificial. It was something. It was probably the craziest thing that's ever passed us in our lifetimes. On record. That still hasn't even begun to hit people's minds. We got so much going on. Anyway, Avi Loeb, I labeled at that point in time as a shill for, just like NASA and all the rest of them. I just don't trust what he says. And here he is again, giving a verdict on a UFO rising off of a volcano once a meteor strikes it. It doesn't strike like into the heart, the hole at the top, but it hits like the base outside. And right when it comes down, a UFO races up off the volcano. This is not the first. I've seen stuff like this. I've been doing this a long time. You know how many times I've seen objects come out of Popocatépetl, out of Mexico, and all these volcanoes all over the place. Crazy looking UFOs. They look like horsemen. I've got crazy stuff on this channel, man. I'm telling you. And even on the original one. The volcano stuff and UFOs, there's long been a connection. But there's no doubt about this one. An orb rises up off of the mountain. And what Avi Loeb tries to tell everybody is it's a light reflection off of a satellite. And I seen even the angry astronaut seen this today, and he went bananas. He got angry because he's seen Avi Loeb doing the same thing. Chilling and trying to say that it was a satellite when it wasn't. So we're gonna look at this, and there he is. We're gonna play this clip, and you're gonna see the object rise. Like, first off, it's doing this little GIF thing. There's a play button on the middle. Here comes the fireball down the left. Here is the UFO that shoots up into the air right here. Right as it's coming down. Right as it goes to hit the ground. You can see this object takes off from the ground. There's no other way about it. And he says it's satellite. Problem is, an angry astronaut seen it in all you gotta do is see this clip in full daylight and you'll know. You can see the horizon right here behind it. He, for whatever reason, I don't think he even took the time to look at this all the way. You can see the outline of the mountain right there clearly, and you can follow it all the way around, up and around. So, couldn't have been a satellite. 1,000,000% couldn't have. Satellites don't just come off of a mountain. The thing came off of a mountain. It's in front of the mountain right here. And this is what Angry Astronaut
was ticked off about, and I don't blame him. Because Avi has the ear of millions that we can't reach. And he's spewing that crap like, oh, it's a satellite. I mean, it's garbage. It's not a satellite. That was a mystery object shooting above the mountain, is what it was. Period. Period. So, I'll hit play here. Yeah, you can see it. It doesn't matter what angle. Zoom in, far away, it looks the same. So, if it was moving down, they could have got away with trying to say that it was lava or was anything else, but no, this thing was shooting straight up, and it was on the front side of the mountain. So, again, it's not the first time. But we've got a lot going on. I think you're going to see a lot more of this. We've got Disclosure from Steven Spielberg about to drop. They actually show the alien in it. And somebody shared a clip. They shared the stills of the alien in the frames. And it's gray. They're showing a gray and a person laying down. Looks like a child or something. And get ready. Get ready. Get ready, man. They're getting ready to do it. They're getting ready to do this big time. Like this Steven Spielberg is playing a huge part in Disclosure with this movie. It's just how they do it. It's how they work. It's all Hollywood. It's all the magic anyway. This is interesting. Mystery deepens over King Tutankhamun's alien glass after a stunning discovery. They don't know how this glass that his necklace and all this stuff is made, how it's made of. Like, they don't understand. They're like, well, the only explanation they can think of is a huge meteorite exploded over Egypt and Libya, and it formed a special event that you're only going to find there. It happened like 29 million years ago. And it made this rare zircon structure type of glass, yellow type of glass that is extremely rare. And it just so happens that Tutankhamun and all of them apparently have shards or pieces of this embedded in his stuff, which is doesn't surprise me. There's a look at it. But when it comes to the ancient Egyptians, you're going to see more and more now that the ancient Egyptians and everything that goes on with Sumer, the Sumerians, and Anunnaki, and all this, it's all tied together all the way to Atlantis. It's all tied into a global system structure. It's clear. When you study every single one of these ancient things, you see the repetitiveness in the storylines and all this. It becomes clear that there was a power structure on this planet of giants. And Egypt is the one place on this planet where they don't hide it. They can't hide it. Like, something tried to wipe this place out, and it did, but it didn't destroy everything. Like, there's still, like, those statues are showing you, I'm going to tell you, depiction of real life entities that stood at a time here. And your own Bible tells you this. You know, of Canaan, when they went into Canaan, sent spies in, said they were like grasshoppers. Okay? And those huge dudes sitting in Egypt, sitting at the front of the pyramid, and they've got human-sized statues down at their ankles, down by their feet, women. Human-sized. Real life size. Shows you how massive they are. They're huge dudes. Like, those are the ones. These are the Nephilim. These are the ones. Those are real life. They're still sitting there. And they just want you to think that they're just a giant statue. Oh, they're real life depiction as far as I can tell. All the ones that are 12 to 15 foot are all uniform. All the hieroglyphs all show the same thing. They all show the kings as giants, and all of us little peon humans, these little men, little tiny men. It's the truth. It's all still there. In many places, they tried to hide it and carve it out and chisel it all out, but they couldn't. It's still there. And I'm going to tell you that when you study Sumeria, a whole different civilization in the King's List, and you look at Egypt and everything that's built there and what we know now, that it goes way down under the ground. Huge shafts that spiral down under the ground. They told us this, but won't dare show or say anything else. Like, we little humans didn't do none of that. Like, it was all this bigger race that was here, and it's on record. It's on record all over the place. It's on record that they wiped them out. And that part hasn't been kept hidden from you. It's right there in the freaking Bible. Okay? It's time people get hit with it, and you understand that this isn't myth. It's real. It's super real. Okay? And I got some major problems with some of this, because from what I can tell, the King Anunnaki, the higher power, the Enlil Inki's the highest, they cannot return into this atmosphere until they kill a bunch of us humans. It's written. It's written in tablets. Our energy started to kill them. They started to deteriorate. So what they made was a series of half-breeds, so to speak, of gods, demigods, so to speak, junior gods, that they left here that could survive in the atmosphere. And what they did when they made us, this is per Sumerian. This is where it all gets deep right here. Okay. They make us, and we get in such a large number that our energy, our frequency starts to kill them. It's parasitic. They have us mining for gold because their home planet, Nibiru, atmosphere needs gold. They have gold embedded into their likeness. They are called the Shining Ones. Those that from heaven to earth came. Okay, the Anunnaki, with the father figure on the front of this being the king one in the top being Anu. Okay, but you have Inky and Lil are the key characters in this set of gods, so to speak, creators here that were real. They walked on this planet. They drank beer. They argued and disagreed. I think that's interesting, don't you? And so they made us. And see, they had to make us because their workforce, the Agigi or Agigi, revolted and burned all their tools and said, we're not doing this no more. So Inky and Alil and all them, they got together and they fastened mankind. And they started to observe it. And let me tell you, they observed it for a while because they watched many cycles. These cats, they lived for a long time. Okay? Could have been many processions of the equinox. Enlil writes that he watched for several cycles. And this is where it gets bad. Enlil, not that he hated humans, Enlil seen that there was something happening that was not supposed to happen. The slaves were not supposed to do something that they were doing. When they made us, this is how I'm Sumerian tablets, man. When they fastened man, they had to breathe the life force into them, right? When this happened in this process, no matter what story and whatever depiction, how it goes, it's the same thing. When this life force energy was put in the man, okay, this gave man the ability to remember what it is. Here's the thing. They cannot create this life force. It comes from the highest source, okay?
It comes from the highest source. They can create the material, everything in this material, but not of that. They have to trap it. Okay? They took the hominin that was here, that had a life force energy, and they took their own kind and they mixed it, and they made us in their image, as they write. And this is where it starts to get crazy. Even crazier when it gets to this story. And you need to know it. Because, I mean, whether you believe it or not, you need to know it. You need to know what is written, what happened here. Enlil says that he observed that they are remembering. Okay? And this is huge, man. This is huge. I'm telling you, this is huge. This gives away the keys. When you actually go down these other rabbit holes, you find keys, man. Keys. Keys. Okay? Hang with me here. Sumerian tablet, I am 77821. It starts with I am. Are you kidding me? I told you the power to create everything. What is God's name? What does it say in there? I am. Huh? Aha, Asher, Aha, I am that I am. That's what it is. Okay? So Enki and Enlil in the storyline. They're at odds with one another. And Enlil says, we have got to wipe out mankind. Everyone has to come to this meeting. Thank you, Lakeville. They have a big meeting. And the whole meeting is over the divine spark, which is what you are. I am, you are. It's what we're all from. It's what your soul is, your life force energy, the Godhead, the Most High. Okay? And one of the elders, they say, they suspect, it doesn't name him by name, but they say one of the oldest of olds, and they suspect that that's Anu. He asked Enki, and this is where you need to listen. Pay attention clearly. He says, if the memory survives in the blood, then what? Do you understand? He said, if the memory of what they are survives in the blood, then what the are you going to do? This is what he said to him. Enki said, it won't. The flood will wipe it all away, even the memory. But it didn't. Anu was immediately concerned. You would awaken. The whole concern was that we were awakening to what we really were. He said, wipe them out. Because they were not designed to do this. And you want to know why he said wipe them out? Because they feared it. They feared that man would become as gods, as them. And that if they continued down this path, there would be no separation between the two. And eventually, man, which is more numerous than the Anunnaki, would supplant them, surpass them. And just like the story of Kronos, getting scared and eating his own children, he wants to wipe everything out. Okay? So, you need to know this. In comes the flood. Do you understand what he just said? Do you understand what the secret of secrets is? You need to remember what you are. It is the way out. This is all about remembering your divineness, the divine spark that you are. Not that you are evil and your sin. You need to live righteous and be it. You need to remember what you are. Jesus said the same thing over and over. He left the blueprint. He left the blueprint in the Gospel of Thomas. You want a wig splitter? You want to know why they stripped all this out of your Bible? Well, it's showing you the way out. In the Gospel of Thomas 50, Jesus said, not, he told you to say this. All right, I want you to listen. I want you to listen. This isn't to man. He told you to say this to the archons after you die. Who are the archons? They are the jinn. They're gatekeepers. And Jesus spoke on it. And they took it out of your Bible. And oh my God, you should be so infuriated when you find all this out. He told you what to say. Listen. He says, if they say to you, after you die in your soul, rises up off your body, and you encounter these beings. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Chinese book, all of that. It all speaks to the same thing, the same process, getting through this gauntlet. Jesus said you will encounter these archons, these individuals, and they will say to you, where did you come from? I think you need to know this. They will say, where did you come from? And Jesus says, say to them, we came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image. That's what you are to say. I'm going to stop right there. I'm not even all the way through it. This is what Jesus is telling you to tell these entities. Where they can't stop you. If you do not know what to say and you do not have the keys, you will not proceed. You will be regurgitated back into the soul trap. This whole thing is to get out of here. And he left the blueprint. I'm warning you. He left it. And they stripped out all these other details, trying to keep them in from you. And you should be so pissed when the keys of keys. He's telling you what to tell the Jinn, the Archon. That are going to try to trick you. Looking like Granny. Looking like other beings of soft light. All of these backgrounds say the same thing. That this is what happens. And he is telling you that you're going to be asked, where did you come from? And you were to tell them what I just told you. Do you even remember a word of what I just said? That we come from the light. Don't you ever forget that, because that's where it starts. We came from the light. The place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image. That is what he says. Then he says, if they say to you, is it you? You say, we are its children. We are the elect of the living Father. These are questions Jesus is telling you that is going to be asked specifically. It's a head buster. I'm going to repeat that. The second question. If they say to you, is it you? Most people are going to be like, what? Most people are not even going to get past the first question. When they say, where did you come from? You're going to be like, I came from Texas. You know, like, dude, if you're having a problem with this, just go look up the Gospel of Thomas. Here it is on the screen, right here in front of you. Just go look it up for yourself. You can, while you're at it, Philip, Jubilees, Book of Giants, Enoch, Genesis B, and go on and on and on. This pisses me off. I mean, I'm happy that I'm able to be the one to like share it with people. But the fact that it's been hidden this whole time and so many millions of people don't get this knowledge because the Council of Nicaea and the wickedness decided to strip it
Now you know why. Because all this shows you what Jesus told you was the way out. Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm still not done. I'm on 50 here. I'm just trying to get to it. Again, if they say to you, is it you? You say, we are its children. We are the elect of the living Father. If they ask you, this is the last one. If they ask you, so there's three, like three questions here, potentially. If they ask you, what is the sign of your Father in you? What is the sign of your Father in you? Say to them, it is movement and repose. Dude, what the? This is just, and before this, Jesus said, if two make peace with each other in this one house, they will say to the mountain, move away, and it will move away. And it's just the same thing was said earlier. When two or more people come together in prayer, and you really do it, it has an effect. I'm so sick of, I'm never going to be able to reach any more than what I do because I'm so censored with this knowledge. But the whole world deserves to know the truth and the way out. And not stuck in some stupid little dumbed down cycle. And to me, that's more important than anything. Is getting people out of here. And doing the good work that the Most High did, Jesus. And then this time of deception, the fallen one's about to get announced and Antichrist stepping on the scene. There's no better time to get right with the Lord and to know these things. I spend all my time diving into all these things. My soul pulls me into it first off. And then when I find that they all click and connect, and I find out, like I just told you, that their main concern is that we awaken. That's all of them's main concern. Is that you awaken. Can you believe that? So let me, dude, don't you ever forget these things, man. It's critical. Let me finish up with the whole flood thing here and put things in perspective. Because they said they wiped this place out and they re-engineered man to 120, but still some of the ones from before survived from then because Inky says Inky was the more compassionate one. Let's just put it that way. He wanted life, so what did he do? He made sure that he preserved it. He went and he found a righteous man and told him to build a boat. His name was Utnapishtim, or Noah, as you know him. And he built a boat, and they flooded the place out. And once the waters receded, and Enlil seen what he did, he's pissed. They didn't get along all the time, which is crazy. And they walked on this planet is crazy. And they said that they're going to come back, and they can't until especially if there's 8 billion people, they got to kill a bunch of people. So just understand that there has to be a mass killing, not for any other reason. Per the tablets and Sumerian tablets, they can't even come into our atmosphere and walk on this earth with 8 billion people here. It has to be somewhere around 500 million, like was on your Georgia Guidestones, or less, and maintained at that. Now you know why. You're talking about entities that created man for one thing, to be a slave, which obviously we all are on an everyday basis. And they wanted one thing: gold. It's the one thing that every government on this planet hoards. More than anything. More than anything. Not diamonds, not silver, not platinum, not anything. Gold. It just so happens to be what the Anunnaki want. I feel it's all sacrificial. It's all to give to them. It all goes to them. And there will be a massive calling. And the calling will be for exactly what I just told you. Unless you want to change it. That's the wild card in all this. Is every single man and every single soul can say F this, and they can hop up and they can say, you know what? I'm changing the game. And you can be legendary. Salutes to you if you do. I've chosen what I'm gonna do from here. I showed up and I'm still ready for war, and you know this. I've been ready to take to the streets. I've said before, I'll be the one that I'll be the one with the bullhorn. I'll be the one that gets shot, takes the shots. But like nobody wants to rally, nobody wants to do nothing. So that's not gonna happen. And people don't want to do anything because of chicken shit and cowards. I don't know what to say. I don't know. There ain't gonna be no white knights coming to save the day. That's for sure. And I ain't seen nobody else step up to do anything and offer to put their life in the line or anything else. I haven't heard nobody say that. But we've got quite a few different battles in our hands. It's not just going to be us against man. It's about to be us against the fallen. And this takes me back to Phil Snyder. R.I.P. my brother. Legend of legends. There's just different ways you can go about doing it as long as you're fighting a good fight. You know, Phil took out 2 of these entities, killed them. Tall grays, not the little ones, tall ones. There's a big difference. And they blasted him. One of them blasted him, I killed him. He's lucky he even lived to tell the tale. Dude had his fingers fried off, guts fried, left foot fried, like all the goods. They tried to kill him a dozen times before they got him. No one was like Phil Snyder, man. When it comes to dumbs and underground bases, okay? Florio, much love, brother. You're one of the few. One of the few right there. But hey, we're going to do it again. Maybe we should just go up and like, oh, we got plots. You need to hit me up, bro. Hit me up, email. Just hit me up, bro. And we need to get on the same page. Time's short. I was going to hold a conference this year. Stars didn't align. I really think that one needs to be held. Every time I get to hold one, it's like I feel like it's going to be the last. But like, if you want to get together with good people and actually get together and talk about some things that can't even be talked about out here on these streams, the only way to do it is in the flesh. And it's the only place you're going to find it. You ain't never going to find the deepest of deep here. Because it takes more than one sitting. It's different. And I'm done casting pearls amongst swine out there anyway. Not that you guys are swine, but it says in your Bible not to do it, not to, the unworthy, those that really don't want it, they're just going to scoff at it. Like, all right, try to show someone the way out. They're like, oh, you're new age, or I'm not. You're copping out. And I said this before. I don't even like the word religion, but I would like to create something new. And it's just following the words of Jesus. Like, before anything else, like you still believe in scripture, Psalms and these other things, before anything else, I'm believing in what he says. And it trumps any other thing. If it butt heads with any other scripture, it trumps any other scripture, is what I'm telling you. You want to come with any other scripture, it's not him saying it, well, I'm coming with something he said. And that's how I'm rolling from here. And we're going to start battling these demons, exercising these demons, because he said we can. We have control over them. We do. He give us the power to do it. And you either sit here and don't do it, or you do it. You either are hip to the world you live in, and you start to see how it's built, the construction of it, that there's jinn, archons around you, tempting you every day. It's built that way by design, and you get hip to this, or you just stay blind and stupid to it and let them play you like a fiddle. Let them keep tempting you. You need to know that something is doing this and that it's allowed to do this. It's been given permission to do this to you. Why would that be? Because this is a test of tests. You should have been taught this when you were a child. Kindergarten, all this, you'd be mastering it by now, speaking things into existence. You'd mastered this life, but you were never taught none of it. So they play you and call you the goy. All of us, the people. And because the goy are blind, they get away with doing all these things. If the goy were just awakened to how it's done, they couldn't do it. Half the black magic wouldn't work. Quantum, man, much love, man. I appreciate the support, man. In the spirit, in the heart there. There's going to be a time. Okay. Let me go to this next piece. Stuff runs deep, right? Before I play the CIA guy here exposing the bases. And TNF, I can't take off, brother. I gotta meet you and shake your hand, Quantum, all you guys, man. The first missing scientist is found dead a year after vanishing as bizarre circumstances of her death are revealed. This is a nuclear lab employee at I believe it was Los Alamos. Yes, she went missing 11 months ago. Melissa Cassius. Last seen alive, June 26th, 2025. Body found in McGaffey Ridge area of Carson National Forest, approximately 6 miles from the last place she was seen walking before being declared missing. Wow, that's a police said a hiker in the forest made the discovery and that a handgun was found alongside the body. The cause of death and when she died is yet to be determined. There you go. I mean, they got her. I mean, she's dead. And much love, Steve, out there. Man, bro, it's dark. You have to pull them weeds in the dark, bro. Much love, brother Steve. So, I mean, RIP to the scientist. Let's jump into the CIA psychic spy pinpointing 4 hidden bases here on Earth. Okay? So, this is a remote viewer, work with the CIA. And, yeah, this is good. And then I'm going to tie into this off these bases. One more Sumerian thing here that just tops it all off.
I didn't go into that. Now, the alien bases, the 4 major alien bases on the Earth, I did those in depth, but the ones on the moon, I was just tasked what's going on, where are they, what's it look like, and all that. So
Yeah,
I
this
did
is
what I was tasked to do.
this is Project 8200, right? Where Pat Price had seen
Pat
4
Price saw the 4 alien bases, and they did Project 8200 before I got there. However, after I got there, Skip Atwater was having us do those sort of to keep track of what's going on at those as time goes on. The one in Mount Hayes, Alaska, Pat Price and Joe McMoneagle had found aliens and humans working side by side as sort of an intelligence gathering place. And years later, when I got there, I did Mount Hayes and found out that the equipment was now automated and still running.
All right. This, guys, we're starting to get locations of places. And let me tell you something. It used to be one thing to go out to like the Area 51, especially. I mean, it's set to have aliens underground, aliens, fallen, grays, reptilians, whatever. They're all there. Different layers under the base, S2, S4. Area 51, the only one you could ever get close to even seeing. And I'm going to tell you now, Tikaboo Peak has been closed down, and they're now saying they don't think people are going to be able to ever go back to Tikaboo Peak ever again. That moment in time is coming past. That's why you do things when you can in this life. I'll never forget the pool that I had to go there. With Spiro and cannons, the stars aligned. It seemed like it was going to be, it had to take a miracle to make it happen, but it all happened. And God wanted me to go there. And we pulled off first live stream ever of Area 51. We did. From Tikaboo Peak. No one ever did it. All the others were all documentaries. We did this years ago. First drone footage of Area 51. Even though they were itty-bitty tiny little buildings, because they were 26 miles away. Still, it was the first. We did it. We did it. Salute Spiro. Cannons. And thank you, Chris, R.I.P. Flint's Bar, the quad. That was one for the books. And I talked about it heavy the past couple of years, wanting to go back. And before I could even do it, the window's closed. It's over. Closed down for a year. Most are saying it's done. It's done. Like, they're not going to... They're citing dangerous trail stuff like garbage. Like, it was dangerous, don't get me wrong. But if they wanted to cite that was going to be an easy one for them. They're being done with it. Tells me something different's happening. Like if they're about to come out with disclosure and everything else, and a place like that is only going to attract a ton more. So they can't stop it. So I think the Most High, I got that one on the record books, just like I think the Most High, I was able to get out and just the same pool, go cover Georgia Guidestones before we took them out, or before they got taken out. Taken out, they did. And they gone. You don't want to put them back up? Well, I don't know. I'd say, so people out there, don't take kindly to, Bill Gates type of threats and reducing your population numbers down to like nothing. Them deagle numbers. And, well, somebody wasn't happy with it. And, George Guidestones would be a thing like a myth. You'll hear about it down the road. People hear about it like, what do you mean? Like, where am I? And you'll see videos and you'll see pictures, but it's gone. Yeah. Another thing you will never be able to do or see. So, I got drone footage from on top that I swear to you, it looked like blood, it looked like red dry blood, like darkened blood that went down into a. I don't know what else it could have been, but the whole thing was crazy. Did deep dive investigation into it, and I don't know anybody wants to be legendary. I'll tell you right now, because I ain't never going back there again. There's a time capsule buried there. Time capsules are meant to be dug up legally. That's what they're there for. Only thing with a time capsule that I seen there is that they never had a date for when it was supposed to be opened. They left it blank. Yeah, there's a time. It wasn't under them. It was just to the left of them. If you were looking north, you could see it. The grass didn't grow right over top of it. And there was a huge plaque on the ground there. And it told you there's a huge time capsule here. It says it on the plaque. So, like, it's known. And when the Guy Stones got destroyed, but wasn't time to mess with nobody was messing with anything else. So I never heard of anyone digging it up. So I mean, if so, I think it would have made the paper. It would have something. Something would have been said, like some kind of story or article would have been put out on it. But I still think it's sitting there. So anyhow, for the future, there was a time capsule there at least. And what's inside of it? Can you imagine what's inside of it? Gets the wheels going. There's all kinds of treasures out there to be found. There's multiple treasures scattered across the country right now. There's books written on treasures, and there's treasures just sitting out there to be found. It's interesting. I think treasures are interesting. So I want to point out one. I'm gonna finish with this. I'm gonna finish with this on the whole alien basis thing. Okay, he pointed out one. Okay, and I want to name the four, so everyone knows here. He says Mount Hayes. Okay, that's a key one. That's in Australia. That's in Alaska. Then you've got Australia. And I've never heard of this, but you can bet I'm going deep diving on these places from here tonight. Just cause. Like, where's Mount Hayes? Like, is there anybody in Alaska listening tonight? Is there anybody in Australia listening tonight? Huh? Anybody in New Zealand listening tonight? Anybody in not New Zealand, Zimbabwe? I doubt that. How about the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France? I doubt that. Those are where these bases are. So you're talking 4 globally known extraterrestrial bases. One is in Alaska's Mount Hayes, and as he said, humans and these things are working side by side. And he says that these bases have different functions. The Alaska base gathers intelligence. The Australian installation operated as a UFO port of entry. And the Zimbabwe facility functioned as a repair center for extraterrestrial craft. That's wild. I got no reason to not believe me. There's other guys from over here should come forward and back him up. So, this is what he just gave you the 4 locations.
Mount Hayes in Alaska's closest one in American territory. That's what I'm saying. If somebody out there is in Alaska, because I've seen it before, I've seen cats holler from Alaska. If anybody can hear me in Alaska, if you're anywhere near Mount Hayes, no, you've got aliens in the mountain, baby. Okay? You've got Fallen running around inside of Mount Hayes. Let me tell you, guys, like, if I'm up there, if the first thing comes to my mind, I'm just telling you, the first thing comes to my mind is fire in the sky. That's not good. Because these things roll up on you on the spaceship and hit you like they did with the beam of light, fire in the sky, like they got you, like they got dude, and they're just gonna dump you off, drop you off, and then done. You'd be lucky if they did that. Again, if you ain't seen Fire in the Sky, go see it. If you want to know what a little gray looks like, right there, they showed you. And more they're coming out with this thing saying that the gray is basically like it's a human from the future or something. They're trying to say like from like a million years or something crazy coming back in time, or I don't know all that crap, but all I know is it seems to be a real deal entity. It's there. There seems to be a tall version and a small version. And the small version seem to be the worker bees, little grunts. And the bigger ones seem to like just carry more authority. It's exactly how Phil Snyder described it. You can imagine. Well, like the Phil Snyder incident happened in Los Alamos, which is here in the United States. So there you go. Phil Snyder also told you there's a known base right there. Now, Los Alamos, a protected base on the upside, on above ground. Underground, Los Alamos, there are extraterrestrials, fallen, whatever you want to call them, running around. Okay? Now, we know this for a fact with Phil Snyder. Phil Snyder says that when he was down there, it was in the 70s is when this all took place. It's what they call the human alien war. It took place under Los Alamos, where 66 American servicemen and women were killed in this battle because the United States government decided not to tell them anything, as he says. He says that these contractors, military, like these units were going down there, and that the government knew. The government knew the whole time that there were hostile grays there and just did not tell them. So people were being lowered down into this area in like in a basket, so to speak, an elevator basket. And he went down with several other soldiers, a couple of soldiers, and all he had on him was a little P90, I think, pistol on his hip. And there were guys down there like just doing whatever they were doing. I don't know, trying. He explained it as at first they were down there drilling and they were doing work, and like they punctured into a base, a facility that was ancient, that was old. And then when he got to the bottom, and as soon as he got to the bottom and exited this basket, there were 3 tall grays. And they started killing, like there was a shootout, like they killed American servicemen right there. And he grabbed his P90 and he killed 2. He proudly said he shot and he killed 2. And he goes, but when he did, a third one lit up a blue beam, a ball of light in front of its chest, and it hit him and it fried him. And when it all happened, a soldier drug him back and threw him in the basket and hit the thing and sent him up. And he said if the soldier wouldn't have done that, he wouldn't have been here today to tell you the story. I mean, he's on film saying this, Phil Snyder. He's legendary, man. My man, they tried to kill him more than a dozen times, man. Can you imagine being the person that's trying to dodge government bullets? They tried to kill you 12 times. It was more than that. And they got him finally. Like, are you kidding me? Had his fingers fried off. He could lift his hand and show you. His toes on left foot fried. His body fried and charred. All the scars from getting blasted. All the goods, man. That happened in Los Alamos. Right here in America. Okay? So, you want to talk bases? Just want to remind you. There's crazy stuff out there. Shout outs to Mr. A again. We got unfinished work out here to do. All I could tell you is like fire in the sky comes to my mind. But the second thing is let's go camping. I know that sounds crazy, but I want to go like Rambo. I want to go like Predator. Straight up. Like, let's go, boys. Like, I'm kidding, man. Like, it's just do something. This day and age, legendary. You got Starlinks and all this other stuff. Let's go live the whole damn time. So when one wants to drop down on us or anything happens, the whole world sees it. And not only that, we got a Gatling gun, and we just somebody start ripping on this damn thing. Start shooting back. And fire in the sky, these guys were just in an old truck. They were logging up in the Pacific Northwest, I believe it was. And they have no weapon. It's just some old road truck and a couple guys, and boom. They get hit with a light. And, the guys say that our government has struck deals that, in exchange for technology and certain things, deals have been struck where they have let the Greys or whoever get away with abducting a person or two here and there, a head of cattle here and there for scientific and experimental means. That they let them. It's part of the agreement. They're like, here, we'll give you this technology. You gotta let us take like 1,000 people a month or something. And they let it happen. It's nuts. So again, Mount Hayes, Alaska, I'd be taking an expedition up there, like the A-Team and Predator combined, with all the baddest guns, live streaming, and take some LiDAR and take some technology and let's do this damn thing. Let's do something. Let's get it. That's how I see it right now. Let's get it legendary. Australia, same thing. You've got Mount Zeal in your backyard somewhere. I've never heard of it, but it's there. And as long as there's not some military base encompassing the whole damn thing, you should be able to go check it out. And Mount Zeal, I want to know. I'm going and looking all these places up. I'm looking at it in 3D on Google Earth when the stream is over. I'm looking at all these places. I'm looking at the size, the depth, any entry points. All of it. You never know what you're going to find when you go looking. Zimbabwe's Mount Nyangani. Never heard of it, but go see it tonight. Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France. I've heard of Pyrenees. Wow. All right. So, yeah, man. Going to be Google Earthing some major spots there. All right. So, I'm going to close this tab. Coming up on top of the hour, got 5 minutes. Well, I'll spend the last 5 minutes of this hour closing out the talk here on all this. And I'm going to take it back to Eridu right here. And I'm going to finish this whole thing with a Sumerian tablet that speaks on when they come back, when the Anunnaki come back, they have rights to, per this tablet, 4 places that are named in this tablet specifically. that they have a land deed to, basically, a right to. That, like, when they come here, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to want to be in these areas, is what they're saying. Like, they are taking these areas, okay? Like, it's their land. And they're going to land there when they come back, and they're going to seize it. Like, it's their property. It's literally land deeds to the Anunnaki of 4 cities, 4 places on the planet. Oh, don't you want to know where they are? Well, here we go. The first is Eridu, that you were looking at on the map. This magnificent, crazy, wild place out in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, with no current life there as we speak. All ancient structure here in formation. Is one of the 4 cities the Anunnaki claim deed and title to when they touch down and come back. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? It is written in the tablet. There's 4 names of 4 places. Eridu is one of them. Crazy. And our military should have done, with going into Iraq there, seized control of all of this and everything. And of course, everything with Kuwait. The only thing that they don't have is obviously everything here in Iran. Everything east of Basra here, going into Iran. This is still got ancient stuff here that they want their hands on. Like I showed you before in this image, the freaking Garden of Eden footprint, so to speak, that goes into the Persian Gulf here, that runs into Iran. They want all of this. They need this. This is a hunt for ancient technology. Okay? This is a hunt for exactly what I'm telling you. When the Anunnaki were here, the technology they had. Okay, these places. Okay. Number 2. The number 2 place that they claim it's actually number 1 on the list is Mount Hermon. Same Mount Hermon that the Watchers landed, same Mount Hermon. Same Mount Hermon that Israel has seized control, same Mount Hermon. Same Mount Hermon that's got a scar on top of it where they landed, same Mount Hermon. They lay claim to this. Isn't it interesting that they have a title deed in tablet in cuneiform to Mount Hermon, where the Watchers landed? That when they return, that's their spot. It's their land. Period. And it's a title deed. Because they walked amongst men. And they will again. That is what is written in Mount Hermon. Number 1 on the list. I done told you Eridu. So there's 2. Number 3 is Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe is the most ancient temple site on the planet. Done super advanced, buried on purpose. And there seems to be more around it. There's definitely more around it. Pergamon is in Turkey. That is where the throne of Zeus was discovered, and the Germans took it back to Germany brick by brick because it was that important to them. The fallen, the giants, the throne. Can you believe it? It's what it means to them. Okay? Turkey is next. They are going to war with Turkey simply for all of this. For all of the ancient stuff, all the goods. It's on. It's on. It's on. Yeah, they want the cigarette. They want a lot of stuff that's really not too deep
I mean, right here on the let's just look right here on the map. Look at the Straits of Hormuz and this whole thing. These mountain ranges right here. This is all ancient. And all this stuff. The stuff, when you zoom in and you start to look at these mountains, the ancient structure and everything that's there, it's nuts. This is a wild place. It's a rough terrain. And it runs all the way up through here. I mean, Iran. This is all Iran. This is all Iran. There's ziggurats and other stuff in here that they've never got a chance to go in and get their hands on. Okay? And they want it. They want it. Some of it's not too far into Iran. Okay? You can see right there. I mean, Basra's just on the other side. Iran, I mean, it's tight quarters. This Garden of Eden area, the sweet spot, is split between Kuwait to Iraq. It's where all the rivers converge. It's exactly how the Bible describes the mouth of all those rivers coming together. It would be right here. That's why they say it has to be here, even if it's underwater, primarily. Like, if you're talking about the Euphrates and Tigris period, it has to be down where they converge to start there. And then you factor in the others, like we've shown, whether people believe in it or not. This, I'm telling you, they want Iran. So that's 3 of 4. And let me finish here. I'm already past top of the hour. This is the final one. This is the final one. And it's where the largest stone blocks on the planet have been discovered. This is the 4th place where the Anunnaki claim deed. It is called Baalbek. And that's crazy. Where is Israel bombing right this second? Because they've already seized Mount Hermon. Where are they bombing? They are bombing Lebanon. They just took over a church compound. I'll show you. That's later. Well, I just might as well tell you now. They took over some castle up in Lebanon. It's the furthest they've been in like 1,000 years, and like they're moving north, and like they want to take this whole thing over, and like in it is right there, Baalbek, which is ancient. We're the biggest stones on the planet. The triathlon, is that what they call it? Triathlon or whatever, the thon or whatever says that the biggest stone blocks ever, like there here in the city. They want this. They want in here for all this because they believe not only is there ancient stuff here, I'm telling you now, it's on tablet in cuneiform that this is one of the 4 places the Anunnaki 2 is written. Sumerian tablets. So wrap your mind around all that. Okay? This whole region. Okay? So Eridu, over to Baalbek, up to Göbekli Tepe. Okay? So Eridu, Baalbek, and well, Mount Hermon is just south of there. So basically from Eridu over here to Baalbek, to Mount Hermon, then Baalbek, and then on up north to get to Göbekli Tepe. Well, Göbekli Tepe would be up over here on the western side of Turkey. That almost puts them in a line. I don't think a straight line, but almost. But this whole territory, the whole territory here, from what you want to call right outside of the little Garden of Eden, all the way to Göbekli Tepe, all the way up to like the Black Sea. I mean, this whole stretch of region, they're going to claim. They claim as theirs. This whole region, this whole deck, Turkey, Syria, Baghdad, all this right here, Kuwait, like this. This is kind of wild. Like they're just saying like this is our land and like this is our spot. It's in a deed, a land contract deed. That it's theirs. They have ownership of these places. That's Göbekli Tepe. It starts with a G. There's more than just that. Gonna keep it pushing here, but I thought that was crazy. The Eridu that I seen on this map. Why do you even have that there? Like, why? There's nothing currently even there. But I guess if you were going to mention ancient cities, it's worth mentioning. But most people don't even know about it. So that is some crazy stuff. All right, let's go. I'm going to dive into some other news here and try to knock some out here in the next 30 minutes or less. We've got Google seeking federal approval to release millions of mosquitoes inside of California and Florida. 32 million. There was a false report out there running around about 2 billion. EPA shot it down, said it was all lies and this and that, but this one is real. This is a real deal plan. So people in California and in Florida, you should be stepping up to fight this. You got Bill Gates and you got Google all trying to experiment in your neck of the woods. These are people that have a track record of not really caring for us, just so you know. So if you're a speeder in Washington, you could soon have everything restricted. The new law passed there, they're putting devices that if you're a speeder, they're going to put a device in your car that's just going to restrict it. So, and AI is not going to help anything because with these flock cameras, they're tracking everything as is. People are getting tickets. I showed you on the last show. A lot of stuff's getting ridiculous. The one lady got pulled over and got cited for texting. He even said, I saw you texting with your right hand. And like, it was all filmed. And like, she raised her hand and like, she didn't have a hand. It was cut off. She was missing a hand. And like, she was astonished. Like, you are pathetic. And like, he proceeded to be pathetic and give her a ticket. Here is a massive explosion from a fireworks factory. Pretty crazy, right? Here's some pretty I mean, I definitely that was an explosion. That was bad. Yeah, so here's one. Moderna snacks a $50 million Ebola jab contract. I don't even know what to say. I mean, dude, Trump, Bill Gates, Mar-a-Lago, big meeting, mRNA. The only way these people can make money is if something happens. Moderna just snagged a $50 million contract. Hello? Like, dude, Ebola at that. The same thing they're pushing right now. They're slow rolling this one, though. All right, there's chaos, if you don't know, happening up in New Jersey. And they're saying an NGO machine behind it. And of course, yeah, it's usually what it is. But if you don't know, they're saying that the Antifa types are out there and they're causing.
If you have not been
It's madness. This isn't madness. Well, sitting there and doing nothing. This is some madness. There was a time back when I was younger, I hear that Rage, I would have loved it. But Rage ended up showing me during lockdowns and everything else, they were sellout. So, along with a bunch of others, wouldn't push anything for people to, you should go out and get jabbed. all this. Nah. Um, Anyhow, you can see the chaos. Reminds me of what I've covered time and time and time and time again. Although I'm itching to get back out into it. So it looks like Jersey's the spot. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this. See what's going on here. Um, I say they need the National Guard. They're saying NGOs and all this stuff. We already know Soros and company. Already know their tactics. As they say here, these are not organic riots. Well, there's only one way to really handle this. Go down, get the cameras rolling, and like get every aspect. Get them in everywhere. Like all the chaos can go down, right? But then most people like, I don't know, they go their own way. You should follow these people. Follow them to whatever hotel they're going to. Follow them wherever they're going. They gotta go somewhere. Like all this ends. All the chaos ends at some point, and people walk back to cars. They go back home. Like you need to know who they are. They get on buses. When you get on these buses and go back to hotels, you can really start to string things together. And see, that's what I did in Ferguson. Ferguson was the first place that it all came unraveled for me. It's crazy. Well, what a decade ago now. But chaos is gonna keep happening in all these cities. So this time it's Jersey. We have robot dogs. You guys seeing these yet? In your towns, your city? Well, any place that's gonna have the World Cup or anything like that. Hold on, what was that? What just happened? I want to make sure everything is let me get a 5x5. Get a mic check real quick. Just want to make sure. Should be good. Oh, hopefully. Waiting to see some 5x5 or something here real quick. All right, that E-Fits. Thank you. We're not too far behind. Thank you, Deanne, Paul, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Something happened on the screen. I didn't know if it glitched everything out. I don't know what just happened. Could have been restream again. I'm just glad it didn't completely drop it, I guess. I don't know. Judge rules new evidence in the Charlie Kirk assassination can be made public next month. This is pretty big. Well, potentially. Let's see. We're going to have to wait till next month, but that's the big word, is the ruling. Here's a clip of a guy running for Congress in Florida going nuts. He's selling 68 47 merch. He goes on a rant here.
January Sixers don't deserve $1 billion. They deserve a fucking noose. And if I find out that any of you January Sixers request funds from this little fucking slush fund that Trump set up, I'm gonna personally dox the living fucking shit out of you. Have fun.
Damn, you see the rage in his face, man. Pam Bondi claims that the DOJ produced absolutely everything asked of and required in the Epstein files. So, yeah, that's probably the last thing you'll ever hear, because she went and gave deposition of her connection, anything with Epstein files. All the rest is going to get swept under the rug. And they're going to start stacking stories and stories and stories on now. And really, I think just put the whole Epstein thing in the rear view from now on. It's what it seems like. Trump doesn't look to be doing the greatest. His health report, people are saying they think it's a lie. And I think it's a lie too. Not just because I think so or this and that. Look, these pictures show he's got bruises all over his hands. he's been looking very lethargic. I mean, he's old. Man. There's no other way around it, man. He's old. And I seen a clip which I thought they'd have on here. Here's the other hand, looking really, I don't want to say scaly. He's falling asleep in all these meetings, all these places, left and right. After he did all the capping on Sleepy Joe, he's falling asleep left and right. They don't have the clip. He was sitting down, and you could see his ankles, and man, they look like they're super swolled out, like pretty bad. I don't know what's really going on with him, but something is. And I'm just gonna skip over to the important ones here. Super important ones here. Let's just get to this Lebanon. I just gotta tell you, Israel wants to take over Lebanon big time. They want everything, right? They want Baalbek, they want everything in there. So they say a shaky Lebanon ceasefire reached. Like, get out of here. Like, you can't believe these ceasefires. They say that they're under ceasefire and have a ceasefire while they're still firing missiles. You can believe none of it. Trump said he's toughening the framework on everything with Iran. Again, they said, oh, we got a deal. It was all a lie. Here's one. He was lying about the mines. U.S. military hasn't identified a single mine in the Straits of Hormuz. Not a single one. He's full of lies. They shot a foreign cargo ship has been struck with a massive projectile, and guess where it was at? I had to throw this in here because guess where it was at? The exact spot we were talking about. The Garden of Eden spot is what I'm just going to start calling it. It's the same spot. Right there. In the water. Literally right in the Garden of Eden spot that we were talking about. That's where it got hit. Like, what are the odds, dude? This Persian Gulf has got a lot of ancient history. Yeah. Here it is. Israel seizes Crusader Beaufort Castle, marking the deepest plunge into Lebanon in decades. Okay, well, that's what it was. And U.S. oil reserves, will they dry up before August? This is what people, the lemmings, the sheep out here don't get. Like, they are buffering the price of gas right now and all this, and they're saying this is devastating. Like, for every day that this goes on, it's going to be super devastating. And when this starts to take off and people start to panic, it's going to go in. They know this. Iran is milking this out because they know the longer they do this, that it works to their favor, and this is going to happen. I'm going to tell you, it's part of a world stage plan to reset all the economies. I've said this before. I've told you this. Dude, this isn't going to get any better. I'm telling you, it's getting lightweight scary. I mean, because there's no end in sight. And as I said before, they haven't even begun to take the mines out of the water. See, even if they get a deal done, you're talking weeks, if not months, of clearing mines before anything can get back to normal transit. That's the reality of it. Okay, so, and I'm going to end with this. If you're part of a huge doomsday bunker community out there, don't tell the whole world where you're at. When you're spending all the money going out of the way to go for something like this, like the largest one apparently here,
They brag about it. They're the largest one out there in the world. Well, they let everyone know where they're at. It's in South Dakota. And apparently people are pissed because it's not going as planned. There's sewage problems, people's dogs running around, people are fighting, and it's not as peaceful and as peachy as they thought it would be. Property taxes, rising fees, you name it. And it's like, might want to think about some of these things. But the people that are in this are saying that they're suing because they were promised by the people that put this all together that there would be certain amenities and that they were never provided. They may win that. But I would just do something solo or something. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I've lost faith in people, to be honest with you. You guys are the remnant, you know, and it's good that I see in you. And I do see here and there out in the masses good people. And I'm thankful when I come across them. But it's far and few in between. It's a remnant again. And out of every 100 people you go through, you may see, you know, a couple good ones. These days, it seems. Depending on where you're at. I will say different areas carry different energy and all that. But look, if you missed it earlier, I was telling you things that Jesus said. And it was key. Blessed is the man who has suffered and found life. I'll leave you with that. Those are Jesus' words. Blessed is the man or woman who has suffered and found life. So I thank you guys for hanging out. Crown Jewels in the house. Tacos. Everybody, the crew. Much love. God bless. Keep raising that oil of gladness, that chrism. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep doing good things, righteousness every day. Good deeds, man. You can't beat it. It's good karma. And hallelujah on it. Big love. Back at you, my brother. I got another one. Lined up here, man. Just, you know how the music goes. This comes out of the soul. Like, I'm been super busy with stuff, but like sometimes when the music comes out of you, it just comes out of you. It's just how it works with me. And I think I got another one. Might need your services on it. If I get it together, I'll send it your way. For that verse 2, me and you, pure bloods all day. Stonefire. Keep your head up. Everybody out there. Call on the Most High. He loves you. And it's one step at a time. We're trying to overcome this world and things. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't try to give up all these things at once. You'll be flopping around the ground like a fish. Like, fiending from nicotine or caffeine or whatever. One step at a time here. And just be happy each step of the way. It's progress. And, hey, it's all it is, man. And like, there's no knocking. No one's perfect. If someone can give up, a lot of these things. So you can give up drinking alcohol. You can give up smoking cigarettes, but you're still smoking weed because it's medicinal for you. Well, it's medicinal for you. There's no knock on it. You give up all these other things. Just do what you can do and try. Right? So, much love. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll look to be here next time for some Underground World News Live. Take us out of here on a beat from Live 1707. Much love, Jay from the Ville, Dark Wolf, Zillion, Goofy, Paul, Kev Bar, thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Leanne, our Sasquatch part of the fallen. I don't know. There could be some kind of connection there for sure. I don't know. I believe there's something out there with Bigfoot and Sasquatch. I'm a believer. I've heard the knocks. I've seen the craziness in the wilderness. I've had experience, right? So, much love. It sure as